Find the slope of each line. Here I go. I'm finding the slope. Let's do look at it. I have all these colors, so why don't I use them? Well, I'm going to start out with the actually, you know what? Let's start out with the blue line. Let's go in order. Let's start out with the blue line. I do not have any dots on here. No dots. So what am I going to do? I'm going to put dots where they should. Should I put a dot right in there? No, because it doesn't cross the grids. I'm going to put like a dot right there. Let me get a better marker. Burp. Put a dot right there. And put a dot right there. Now that blue line is negative. And my rise, remember, slope is rise over run. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see how much I count up, and I'm going to see how much I count over, and that's going to end up being my slope. So let me come back here. I had to click something. M equals rise over run. So it looks like the way I get from one dot to the other dot is I go up 1, left 1, 2, 3. Like I said, it's negative, and I go up 1 over 3. So it's negative 1 over 3. Good job, everyone. Good job. I could put a dot here for green. I'm going to put a dot here for green. And it's positive, so it looks like I can go up from get from this green dot to that green dot. I can go up 1, boop, 2, boop, over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I go up 2 over 12. And you say, well, wait a gosh darned minute, sir. Those are two even numbers. Can't you simplify that fraction? I sure can. Divide the top and the bottom by 2. And there you go. And since it went up and to the right, it's positive. Just like this red one's going up and to the right. So let's put a dot right there. And let's put a dot right there. And I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1, 2, 3. Up 4 over 3. Up 4, right 3 is positive 4 over 3. Keep it in proper. Keep it in proper, just like my stand-up comedy routine. Just kidding. I don't do stand-up comedy anymore because of COVID. All right, I will be able to write equations in slope-intercept form using graphs and ordered pairs. This is a 2-part lesson, and this is going to be the last lesson of Chapter 4. So, boop. Remember that guy? Remember that old friend writing equations in slope-intercept form? Well, this is slope-intercept form. When y is all by itself, the number in front of x is the slope, and the number floating around is the y-intercept. Usually, I'm given the equation, and I have to say this is the slope, and this is the y-intercept. And then I graph. Now I'm given the graph, and then I have to find what my slope is and find what my y-intercept is and put it all together. If you remember the Kahoot that we did on Friday, we kind of finished the Kahoot by doing these types of problems. So let's take a look at a little quick video that I made. Here we go. Let's try it again.
My job is to find the equation of this line right here. In order for me to find the equation of a line, I need something in the form y equals mx plus b. M is the slope, b is the y-intercept. So I need 2 points in order to find the slope. This is a negative slope, so it's up 1, 2 over 1, which means the slope is negative 2 over 1, or just negative 2. My y-intercept is the spot on where my line crosses the y-axis, which appears to be 2. So my y-intercept is 2. My b is 2. Put it all together, y equals mx plus b. m is negative 2x plus b, which is positive 2. My equation is y equals negative 2x plus 2.
Cool, bro. So let's do what the handsome fella in the video did. Let's write out slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b. Let's go to our graph and first find the slope. It's a positive slope. Positive. So I can go, I already have 2 dots. That's nice. I can go from this dot to that dot. And the way I go from that dot is I go up 1 over 1. So my slope is up 1 over 1. And last time I checked, 1 divided by 1 is 1. And so it's positive 1. My y-intercept is the point on the y-axis that my line crosses. So here's my y-axis. My y-intercept is, ooh, there it is, 0, 4, 0, 4. So my y-intercept, my b is that 4. So my y-intercept is 4. So look at the red. If my slope-intercept is y equals mx plus b, I'm going to start rewriting that out. Y equals m. Oh, but wait a minute. I just found out that m is 1. So I'm going to replace m with 1. Okay, x is x, plus is plus, b is b. Oh, b is 4. So I'm going to replace b with 4. Now that looks a little sloppy, all these different colors. I'm just going to rewrite it out and get rid of something. Y equals 1x. I could just put y equals x plus 4. That's my equation. Done. Get out of here, bad circle. Erase you, sir. Let's try it again. It's because my whistle wasn't on point. Much better. My mom used to say that I could whistle before I could talk. She said that. Now she's in a mental institution. I'm kidding. She's fine. Saw her yesterday. All right. Let's do another one. What is slope-intercept form? Slope-intercept form is in the form y equals mx plus b. Let me see. Do I have 2 points? I do. My slope is going to go from whatever point I want to. It's negative. It's a negative slope. And I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over 1, 2, 3. So it's negative. My slope is negative 6 over 3. 6 divided by 3, I know what that is. That's negative 2. Good. What's my y-intercept? Well, my y-intercept, I go to my y-axis, and my y-intercept is the point where my line goes through it. It goes through it at 0 at the origin. And so my y-intercept is 0. So I go up here and I rewrite my entire equation. Y equals m. Well, I now know that m is negative 2. So y equals negative 2 x plus b. And I just found out that b is 0. Well, this is ridiculous. I don't need that 0 there, so I'm going to rewrite it again like I did last time. Y equals negative 2x and leave it be. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. For sheezy, hamburger with cheesy. My cat has fleasy. Write an equation in slope-intercept form. Where did my words go? I guess I can't do it. No, I don't need those words on the left to help me know what to do. I already know what to do. I've done 3 of these already. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write out my slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b. First, I have to identify what my slope is. So let me see. My slope, I'm going to go over here. It's a positive slope. And I go up 1 over 1, 2, 3, 4. So my slope is positive. That's an M. My slope is positive 1 over 4. So there's my slope. Now I need a y-intercept. So my y-intercept, which I call B for y-intercept. Go to my y-axis. I'm going to go down. Where is it? Where is it? There you are. There you are at the point 0, 1, which means my y-intercept is 1. So my y-intercept is 1. Now I'm going to go up to that equation up there, and I'm going to write out that equation, and I'm going to replace m with a quarter and b with 1. Y equals, instead of m, I'm going to put 1/4 x plus 1. And I look at this and I see if there's anything I need to clean up. And no, it looks pretty good to me. That's my answer. Not bad. Until now. Now it gets a little more confusing. Yeah. See, it's lovely when I give you the graph, but what if I don't have the graph? Well, if I don't have the graph, then it's a 4-step process, and it is pretty challenging. So I'm going to write out the steps, and we're going to do a bunch of equations, and we're going to do more and more and more, and then we'll do some more tomorrow, and we're just going to keep doing it until we get it. Okay, step number 1, write out slope-intercept form. I did that. That's what I did in the last 4 problems. Step 2, find the slope. I did that. That's what I did in the last 4 problems. But if I don't have the graph, I may need the slope formula. Oh, curses, the slope formula. Ugh. That's what that Big John down there is. That's what that Big John is down there. Find the y-intercept. This is where it gets wacky pants. Remember, the y-intercept is in the form 0 and then a number. So that might make life easy, but it may not. Okay, plug everything into the slope-intercept form. So let's quick practice slope formula, just once. We'll watch the video, and then we'll practice it just once, and then we'll watch another video to help us understand what's going on. All right, here we go. Boop.
All right, if I'm required to find the slope of a line connecting 2 points and I don't have a graph, I have to use what's called the slope formula, which is this guy right here. Now, before I use the slope formula, I'm going to label my points x sub 1, y sub 1, and x sub 2, y sub 2, and now I just plug them in. Y sub 2 is negative 2 minus y sub 1, which is 8, x sub 2, which is 7, minus x sub 1, which is negative 4. Negative 2 minus 8 is negative 10. 7 minus negative 4 is positive 11. And I end up with negative 10 over 11. Done.
Oh, my name is Mr. Perich, and I can do math in 1 minute. Oh, right, guys? Right? Okay. Use the slope formula to find the slope. All right. So let's do what the guy did in the video. I'm going to label my points x sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2. I'm going to write out my slope formula. M equals y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Now I rewrite the formula and plug stuff in. So I called y sub 2 positive 6. So I'm going to replace y sub 2 with positive 6, always with the minus sign in the middle. I'm going to replace y sub 1 with 4. Over. I called x sub 2 negative 4. Always put the minus sign in the middle. And I called x sub 1 3. Oh, hallelujah. No double negatives or anything like that to deal with. So I have on top 6 minus 4, 2. Negative 4 minus 3 is negative 7. So just cleaning that up because I hate the way that looks. A 2 divided by negative 7 makes the whole thing negative, and you can't simplify that, so 2 over 7. So that's just the slope formula part. The types of problems that we're going to be looking at is I will give you 2 points and ask you to write out the equation of a line that goes through it. Now, again, what we did before when we were asked to write an equation through a line is I gave you a graph. And so I could be like, that's my slope and that's my y-intercept. Let's plug it all in. Well, if I don't have the graph, it really complicates things quite a bit. Problem 5 is asking me to write an equation in slope-intercept form. What's slope-intercept form, you ask? Well, let me actually select a marker. Y equals mx plus b. So what I have to do is I have to find m, which is my slope, and I have to find b, which is my y-intercept. So my slope is found by using the slope formula. So I'm going to label that point x sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2. And the slope formula is m equals y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. I rewrite this equation, but I replace the letters that I have here with the numbers that I selected. So y sub 2 turns into 2. Minus is always in the middle. And y sub 1 is 4. 4. X sub 2 is 0. And x sub 1 is negative 1. Ooh, a double negative. So if you see a double negative, make it a positive like that. 2 minus 4 is negative 2. 0 plus 1 is 1. And negative 2 divided by 1 is just negative 2. So what I have so far is I have y equals mx plus b, but I just found out that m is negative 2. So far, I have y equals negative 2x plus b. Now I need to find b. B is the y-intercept. Oh my gosh! Look! The y-intercept's right there. Now, is that always going to happen? No. But in this case, it does. And, oh, that's my b. So if I put it all together, y equals negative 2x plus positive 2. And that problem is done. On a scale from 1 to 10, that was about a 6. And the reason why it's a 6 and not a 10 is because it gave us, and by it, I gave us the Y-intercept. Hooray! Write an equation in slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. What I have to do first is do the slope formula, which means I label my points x sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2. I write out my slope formula, which is m equals y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. I replace y sub 2 with 0, I called it. Minus in the middle, always minus in the middle. Y sub 1 is 0. That's weird. Over x sub 2, which I called -1, minus x sub 1, which I called 0. On the top, I have 0 minus 0. In the numerator, I have 0 minus 0, which is 0. And in the denominator, I have -1 minus 0, which is -1. And -1 divided by, or 0 divided by -1 is 0. Okay, so what I have so far is y equals mx. Nope, I just found out that m is 0. So y equals 0x plus b. What's b? B is the y-intercept. Look again. I have my y-intercept. It's right there. Which means my b is 0. Again, my y-intercept lives when my x value is 0. And my x value is 0 in this point right here. And my y value is also 0, so that's weird. So what I have is y equals nothing, x plus nothing. Well, there's got to be a way that I can simplify that. Oh, there is. Nothing x plus nothing is a whole lot of nothing, baby. Your x disappeared, you say. Well, that's because it was 0 x's. There's no x's, like some of you in your dating history. That's all right. You're young. Write an equation in slope-intercept form. Wait a minute. I'm gonna erase all of this and just look at my answer. Get rid of all of that and look at my answer. The answer was y equals 0. Why was the answer y equals 0? Well, because look at that y value. And look at that y value. What's the y value in both of them? 0. So no matter what, y equals 0. How am I going to take that to answer this problem? Look at that x value. And look at that x value right there. They're both 0. So without having to do any of my work, if I notice that I'm to do an equation and I'm supposed to find the slope-intercept form and I notice that both of my x's are the same, then your answer is x equals that number. Just like in the previous problem, both of my y's were the same, so the answer was y equals that number. It's a shortcut. And now I'm done. It's a shortcut. And now I'm done. Write an equation in slope-intercept form. Okay. Y equals mx plus b. I have to pick 2 points. So let's pick that one. And that one. It doesn't matter which points I pick, as long as I pick 2 of them. Let's label those points x sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2. M equals y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Y sub 2 I called 1, minus always in the middle. Y sub 1 I called 2, all over. X sub 2 I called 0, always the minus in the middle. And x sub 1 I called negative 2. Ooh, a double negative. So let's make that double negative positive. On the top in the numerator, I have 1 minus 2, which is negative 1. And in the denominator, I have 0 plus 2, which is 2. So my slope is negative a half. So what I have so far is I have y equals negative 1/2 x plus b. B is my y-intercept. Look! 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 My y-intercept exists when x is 0. And in this case, x is 0 and y is 1, which means that number right there is my y-intercept. So what I get is y equals negative 1/2 x plus 1. Write an equation in slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. Pick 2 points. I don't care. I'll pick this one and that one. So I have 3. It doesn't matter which points you pick. I have 3, negative 2, and 6, negative 1. I'm going to call you x sub 1, y sub 1. And I'm going to call you x sub 2, y sub 2. I'm going to write out my formula. M equals y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. I called y sub 2 negative 1. Always put the minus sign in the middle. And I called y sub 1 negative 2. Put that all over x sub 2, which is 6. Always with the minus in the middle. X sub 1, which is 3. Look at there. I have a double negative up top. So negative 1 plus 2 is 1. 6 minus 3 is 3. So what I have so far is y equals, instead of m, 1/3 x plus b. B is my y-intercept. Look! Look! When my x is 0, the other number is my y-intercept, which means my y-intercept is that guy. so putting it all together, y equals 1/3 x plus -3 is -3. Write an equation in slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b. I'll pick u and u. Picking any 2 points. So I have -4, +9, and 2, -6. I'll label those points x sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2. M equals y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. I called y sub 2 -6 minus sign in the middle. I called y sub 1 9 all over. I called x sub 2 2 minus I called x sub 1 -4. Oh no, a double negative. So on the top, I have -6 minus 9, which ends up being -15. On the bottom, I have 2 plus 4. And if you're noticing that you can simplify that fraction, you can. You can divide the numerator and the denominator by 3, and that'll give you 5/2. So what I have so far is y equals -5/2x plus b. Let me see. B is my intercept. Look! Look! My y-intercept happens when 0 is x, and 0 is x right there, which means you are my y-intercept. So putting it all together, y equals -5/2x plus -1 or -1. Neato. Lit. That was super lit. Buddy, it's the same problem, but instead of having it like a nice vertical thing, you have horizontal. So let's pick 2 points. Doesn't matter which 2 points I pick. Actually, let's make life easier. Let's pick the points next to each other, shall we? Let's. So my 2 points are going to be the x value is 0, the y value is 70. So 0, 70, and 160. Label your points. X sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2. Your slope formula, m equals y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. I called y sub 2 60 minus. I called y sub 1 70. Put that over. X sub 2 is 1. X sub 1 is 0. $60 minus 70 is negative 10. 1 minus 0 is 1. So negative 10 over 1 is negative 10. So far, I have y equals negative 10x plus b. B is my y-intercept, and that's where x is 0. So when x is 0, the y value is my b. Y equals negative 10x plus 70. So we'll talk about what this means in the real world in our lesson tomorrow, because I would rather do some more complicated problems. We'll do like 2 of them, because we really didn't have a whole lot of complicated problems here. So I'm just going to make 2 up. So we're going to call this problem 12. So problem 12 is going to be, I don't know, negative 1, 8, and negative 2, 10. First, label your points. X sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2. M equals y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. I called y sub 2 10. I called y sub 1 8. All over, I called x sub 2 negative 2 minus, and I called x sub 1 negative 1. Ooh, a double negative. Ten minus 8 is 2. Negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1. And 2 divided by negative 1 is negative 2. So far, I have y equals negative 2x plus b. Now, for the first time all day, I haven't gasped and said, oh, look at that, because up here, I don't have a y-intercept. No, but I have to find b. How do I find b? I'll show you. Take any one of your points. Take any one of your points and relabel it. So I'm going to take that first point, and I'm going to relabel it x and y. And the way I find b is I replace y with 8 and x with negative 1. So if y is 8, I'm going to put 8 right there, and that's going to equal negative 2. And if x is negative 1, I'm going to put negative 1 right there, plus b. And now I solve for b. Negative 2 times negative 1 is positive 2. So I don't need those parentheses. 8 equals 2 plus b. Subtract 2, cross u out, and 6 is equal to b. Or b equals 6. It's the same thing. So if b is 6, and I already know that y equals negative 2x plus b, then I put it together. Y equals negative 2x plus 6. Let's do problem 13. Same exact directions. I need a slope and I need a y-intercept. So let's call you x sub 1, y sub 1. Let's call you x sub 2, y sub 2. My slope is m equals y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. According to what I wrote over here, y sub 2 is 8. So I have 8 minus y sub 1, which is 6, all over x sub 2, which is also 8, minus x sub 1, which is 4. So 8 minus 2 is 2. 8 minus 6 is 2. 8 minus 4 is 4. 2 over 4 is 1 over 2. So far, I have y equals mx plus b, but instead of m, I now know that m is a half x plus b. Is this a gasp? Gasp! I have my y-intercept. No. So I take one of my points, and I'll take u, and I'll relabel it x and y. Okay, so let me erase that because that looks awful. So I'm going to relabel that x and y. And I plug those new points in to that equation. So instead of y, I now have 6. So 6 equals, and instead of 1, or I have 1/2. 1/2 is still 1/2, my fault. And instead of x, I have 4 plus b. Now I do the math. What's half of 4? 2. So I have 6 equals 2 plus b. Subtract 2, and I have 4 equals b, or I have b equals 4, the same exact thing. Now that I know b is 4, I can take that, and I can take that, and I can put it all together. Y equals 1/2 x plus 4. See me dab? I should have. I dabbed. Okay, so tough stuff. Very tough stuff. I'm not going to lie. What's the equation of this line in slope-intercept form? Well, let's pick 2 points. How about that one? And how about that one? So I have y equals mx plus b. My slope is up 1, left 2. So my slope is up 1, left 2, and it's negative. My y-intercept is whenever x is 0. So that's my b. So putting it all together, I can say y equals negative 1 over 2x plus 3.5. All right, kiddos. I didn't say it would be easy.